Okay, you all, I am back again. And this time, I want to talk about, I really want to talk about soul ties. And I appreciate everybody that participate in any of the community little posts that I put up. I basically just want to stay connected with you all, you know. But I have a book that I wrote, and I am going to do great things with this book. It's called Wife Me Already. I think I might have one of my Kiss of Deception, because in that book, I have a chapter that's called Soul Ties. And I really wanted to read that today. But today I'm going to talk about what if. I might have some of the books in the box for my conference, but I'm not going to try to go find that. But I did find this one. And you can get it on Amazon.com. It's just Wife Me Already. And it's the 40-day devotional. It's called Wife Me Already, 40-day devotional to help prepare you for your husband. And then I have a study guide to go with this book too. But I wrote this book when God delivered me from that narcissist. And I wrote this book in 7 days because God told me I had 10 days to write this book. And I didn't want to deal with this issue. But listen, so I want to say to you today, what if? Now, the scripture that God gave me, this was on day 9. It says, the scripture he gave me is Daniel chapter 3, verse 17 through 18. And it says, if it be so, our God whom we serve is able to deliver us from the burning fiery furnace. And he will deliver us out of thine hands, O king. But if not, be it known unto thee, O king, that we will not serve thy gods, nor worship the golden images which thou hast set up. And that's where I got that. What if? What if God don't deliver you? What if he don't give you that wife? What if he don't deliver you from that spiritual soul tie or that emotional soul tie right away? What if God don't pay the rent this month? What if God do let them take your car? What if God don't heal you right away? What if? What if God don't give you, listen. If God don't give you that spouse that somebody prophesied to you, what if he don't? What if somebody prophesied to you and it didn't come to pass? Or what you gonna do? You gonna forsake God and all his prophets because one prophet was speaking presumptuously or false prophesying? What if? Come on, y'all. What if? Let me say this. And I don't mean to be disrespectful to nobody. Listen, you know, sometimes I have little conversations with certain people or something I learned from certain situations. So I'm sharing it with you all. I'm not mentioning no names. So if this person hear this, I'm sorry. But I have a friend. And one day, well, she kept saying that God told her she was going to meet her husband. I say, did God say when? Because a lot of times when we say that God said, minds, because we have limited information. So what he'll do is add on to it. Okay, so this is the thing. She told me that God told her that she was going to meet her husband on Christmas Day at the gym. Okay? Okay? So she called me at 8:00 p.m. on Christmas Day last year. And she was so distraught. And I said, what's wrong? She said, Joy, I've been at the gym all day since 8:00 this morning. And literally, y'all, it was 8:00, almost 9:00 that night. And you know, I just shut up and listened. She said, God told me I was going to meet my husband today. I said, okay. Go back in that gym and stay in there. And I want to 12 o'clock, to midnight. And after you leave, call me. I had to say that. She went back in the gym at 11:50 something. She called me while she was still in the gym. Boom, 12 o'clock hit. That was the next day. It wasn't Christmas Day no more. And I said to her, did you meet your husband? And she said, She said, no. I say, that was not God. See, I couldn't tell her that wasn't God at 8 something p.m. because she would have made like it was my fault that she didn't meet her husband. She would have blamed me because if I would have told her, girl, that's the devil, she would have blamed me and said, it's my fault that she didn't stay in there to 12 and caused me to. No, you're not finna do that. Go back in the gym and stay in there to 12 p.m., 12 a.m. When you come out there, you call me. Then I can tell you, did you meet your husband? I say, God said that you was going to meet your husband? She said, yes. I say, did you meet your husband? She said, no. I said, that wasn't God. We got to try the spirit by the spirit. Every word that you heard inside of you is not God. Every word somebody speak over you, whether it's good or bad, is not God. The devil told me that narcissist was my husband. And sometimes when we think that God is speaking to us and that thing don't come to pass, we will walk away from God because we feel like he betrayed us. But here's the thing, y'all. We got to live a what if life. What if God don't bless me? I'ma still be with God. What if God don't come through for me? I'ma still be with God. What if the word that I think that God is saying to me turn out to be the devil? Am I gonna leave God and say that God is not a man, is a liar? No. So here's the thing. Here's the thing that I wanted to come on here and tell you real quick. You got to be willing to love God even if he don't give you what you want. Because here's the thing. I asked God, I said, Lord, first I asked God, when is me and my husband going to meet? And this was last year I asked God this. He said May. I heard May in my spirit. And I said, when am I going to get married? And I heard June. And so I said, I feel like God said, you already know your husband. So guess what I did? I wrote it down and I left it alone. I moved on about my business. You know why? Because that could have been Joy talking to Joy. Or that could have been the enemy talking to Joy. And it could have been God talking to Joy. So guess what I did? I left it alone. I gave it to God. And guess what? In May, I started talking to my husband like that, in a liking each other way. And guess what? In June, I was married. That was God. That was God. That's what I'm saying. When God speaks, he will bring his word to pass. Now, here's the thing. If God don't give you a time frame, then you got to wait it out. If God don't give you a day or an hour or a time or a month or a year, then you don't know when he gonna do it. You just give it back to God. And if it's God, that prophecy will fulfill itself. Some of us ain't gonna know when it's God until it actually happened. Like Moses asked God, he said, how do I know basically that this is you, that this is gonna happen? He said, because you know what? Once you go do what I say and bring the people, deliver the people out of Egypt, you all gonna worship me on this mountain. See, some things, what that means is some of your confirmation is not going to happen until it happened. You're not going to get no confirmation until that actual thing happened. And that's what God did tell me. But he ain't say nothing else about it. I asked him every day, who was my husband? See, he had already told me. You leave that. When God already tell you something, there's two ways God shut up. If he already told you something and you keep asking him, God ain't gonna say nothing else to you about that. And another thing, if God told you no and you keep asking him, he just gonna shut up. And now, if God is silent, but you keep hearing this voice in your ear, that's the devil talking. Because see, you don't want to hear the no. You want to hear the yes and now. So the devil said, I'm gonna give her what she wants, the yes and now. Because he got signs and wonders following him as well. But his stuff will never come to fruition. Like the end of his signs and wonders brings death. It brings turmoil. It brings destruction. But the end of God's signs and wonders is going to bring that prophecy. It's going to fulfill that prophecy. You understand what I'm saying? So here's the thing. You got to be willing to love God with or without the promise. See, the Bible said that Abraham did not waver at the promise of God, but he was strengthened in faith and he gave glory to God. So if God promised you something, you got to learn how to live without that promise until God bring it to pass. Because if you don't, you're going to be so distressed and so stressed out. And then you're going to start doubting and wavering at the promises of God. And guess what? It can possibly stop you from receiving that promise. It definitely will prolong the time. It sure will. Either you got somebody in the way. If you're waiting on your husband, but you're dating a boyfriend, and God told you don't do it, that person is blocking your blessing and prolonging the time for you to meet your spouse. If you whatever you're doing that God told you to stop, it's blocking you from going through the process. It's slowing down the process. It's delaying the process. You got to remove the blocks out of the way so that God can flow through. It's just like a birth canal. You got to move everything out the way. You got to make sure that umbilical cord is not tied around the baby's neck. See, anything that's choking you, stopping you from getting your promise, stopping you from breathing the breath of life spiritually, you got to get it out of your way. And see, sometimes you don't even know what that is until you pray. You can pray. You got to dig in. Come on. We got to pray. We got to fast. We got to dig in. Like right now, I'm at a spiritual crossroad in my life. I'm at a physical crossroad in my life. I'm at a natural, I'm at the crossroad. I got to hear from God so that I can make the right decisions. I got to fast more and pray more. See, you about to go through the birth canal. You don't want no blockage. You don't want no umbilical cord choking you, trying to stop you from breathing. You don't want to abort the promise. You don't want to abort the dream. You don't want to abort the person. Because see, listen, it's not by power, nor by might, but by his spirit. See, look, it ain't about you. It ain't about it ain't about your cold-blooded shape. It ain't about your fat bank account. It's not about all the people you know that can support you. It's about the Spirit of God. He the only one can bring you through that narrow canal. See, like right now, what you all seeing the caterpillar stages of my transformation before I fly, before I change into that butterfly, into that eagle. See? It's a process. It's just that I get to see you. I mean, it's just that you get to see me, but I don't see you. You understand? So it's a process we got to go through so that God can birth us to the next level of our lives. But you got to be willing, y'all, to be without that boyfriend that God told you was not going to be your husband. You got to be willing to live without that girlfriend that God told you she ain't even fit to be a wife. You got to be willing to let go of everything you think you know so that God can teach you the right way to go. Stop thinking you know everything. You got to humble yourself. A lot of times, over the weekend, it was just, I was praying about some things, a few things. And one thing just was overwhelming to me. It was more like the time when God told me to go stay with my daughter. It was so humiliating. It was so humiliating to have to go stay with my daughter. That's my baby. I have to go stay with her. She should be staying with me if she needed to. I humbled myself. And God said, what you make happen for your daughter. I know I said this many times before. He said, I'll make happen for you. That's what this situation was this weekend. Well, it started Friday. Well, it started before Friday. God was dealing with me about doing something that I did not want to do. I felt my insides. I felt the humility. I felt it. I didn't want to do it. But I said, God, please help me to surrender. So when I finally went to the place to do the paperwork, I wind up assisting with, what God was showing me was volunteer. And I kept saying, volunteer, Lord, what you want me to do? So when I went to see the person, I was going to clean up the house. But God, and the lady was asking me to take her to go to the pantry place. And I was like, no, you already have a ride for that. I'm going to come clean your house. And so when I got out there, we wound up going to the pantry place. And when I sat down to wait for her to do whatever she needed to do, I looked on the wall and I saw volunteer. And when I saw volunteer, I knew it was God. So I just kept saying, God, what do you want me to do? Please tell me. So over the weekend, it just weighed on me so heavy because it was like one of them humiliating things. And so what I did was yesterday, I told God, because he really dealing with me about some things. And I just said, Lord, not my will, your will be done. And so I went to the office, and then I went back to that place, and it took me 3 hours to wash dishes. 3 hours to wash dishes. My back was hurting me. My fingers were swollen. My feet, and that was just the dishes part. And I was just talking to God. And I just said, Lord, help me to surrender wholeheartedly to your will. And it's so beautiful because on my way out there, I was talking to God. And on my way back, he was talking to me. So when I got home, I made my kids and my husband food. Made sure my other daughter that's in college has something to eat. Text my other daughter, I believe I text her or she sent me a video or something. Make sure she, check on her, make sure she okay, her and her husband. Then I took some Tylenol, some ibuprofen because my back and my body hurted me so bad. And I took a shower and I didn't write down the things that God was telling me until this morning. See, whenever God make you do something that's overwhelming to you, it's because he about to give you something that's going to shift your life forever. So listen, I only shared that, which I wasn't planning on sharing that. Do what he say. On my way driving to the place, and it's not close by my house. And on my way driving, it was like it's called Weigh Station, WEIGH. It's called Way Station. And it's a little sign to the side of like the street up above. Only way I can see that is if God showed me that. It said, obey. It said, obey. And I just said, God, and that was on my way there. And so it's like I'm just in the spirit. It's just like, Lord, make your will so clear to me. Because I know for a fact, y'all, God is doing some great things, but we have to obey his will. So here's the thing. And I got one of my sisters in the Lord, my beautiful friend. I love her so much. And just like she always say, if we're going to do it complaining, we may as well not do it at all because it ain't going to even benefit us. So yesterday, I just say, Lord, help me to do this as unto you. Help me to do this in love. Help me to do it how you want it done. See, forget about me. Forget about what I want, Lord. It's not about me. You know? So it's never about us. So we need to just stop being so selfish. It's not about us. Because God knows what he's doing. We don't understand it. He knows. And he has a plan, y'all. So if he's telling you to do something that's so humiliating, or that you feel like it's overwhelming, girl, you go do it and you do it the best that you can do. So after I washed all them dishes 3 hours, she still wanted me to dry them too. You know, and I mopped the floor, I had to wash it, clean up. You know, I can't even explain it. But it was for God and for her. You know? And we just have to do what God say. It ain't gonna benefit you if you don't. It's not about me. It's about. So I just wanted to say, y'all, what if God tell you to do something you don't want to do? What if he tell you to do a 40-day water fast and you just don't want to do it? What if he tell you to go help somebody that lives so far away, but you gotta do it? What if he tell you to do something you don't want to do? What if? What if? So just do what he say, you know, and you won't get the whole picture until it's time. You know, you will not get the whole picture until it's time. So don't judge it. Don't judge. Listen. See, my body is sore, you know, and then I picked up this weight. I can't, it's, you know, just trying to do things. I have to get this weight off of me because that weight, you know, people say whatever they want to say about me with weight. It's a hindrance to me. I can't do it. But I thank God. I said, God, thank you for giving me the strength to do this. Thank you. You know? And this is what God is saying. Listen to what God is saying, y'all. This says go. See? It's time to go. I know what he's saying to me. What he's saying to you. We got to help. We got to, whatever God tell you to do, you got to do it. It's not about you because you own the company. You can't go serve. It's not about you because you own the church and you the pastor. Girl, look. You better go. So I talked long enough. This is the second video for today. I wasn't planning on coming doing this video. I just wanted to encourage you all. You know, whatever he tell you to do, the only benefit is the only way you're going to benefit from it is if you do it, and you do it without complaining. So I'm going to go ahead and pray over my baby, go to the gym, go to the office. I got an appointment today, and I'm just trusting God for total healing, total protection. God is faithful. I love y'all so much, okay? I pray that this video bless somebody. Y'all have a blessed day, okay? Pray for me. I love y'all, okay? God bless.